Welcome to this WellCAD video on Core Description Workspace. Using a dataset, we can then start by opening a new CoreCAD workspace. We select the logs that we want to display in the workspace. We start with the description, grain size, lithology, sedimentary structures, and core photos. In the navigation bar, we can display core and box number and core and gamma. And then we press OK. We can rearrange the logs in the workspace by selecting a log with the left mouse key and move it around to our preference next to the depth log. We can also move a few more logs around until we are happy with the display. If we want to add more logs into the workspace, click on the import icon in the upper left corner. Then we can add clay content to the workspace. The navigation bar located on the left side is chosen and the area is shaded blue, which represents the depth range that you can access in the workspace. You can zoom in to a certain box by clicking on its box number. And then the workspace only shows the depth range that was chosen. When pressing the Shift key, we can select multiple boxes. The green area shows the depth range actually displayed in the workspace. We can move up and down in the workspace by using a scroll bar or by dragging the green bar up and down. Before starting the core description, we can add one more log by clicking on Import Log and selecting the lithology qualifier. To start the interpretation, we first define an interval by pressing the left mouse key and drawing an interval on the top of the core photo. We can easily adjust the interval if necessary. We start with the lithology on the right side and the associated dictionary opens up, and then we can select clay. Using the Edit Next Log arrow, we move to the next log, which is the grain size. For the grain size, we select the grain size class using the drop-down menu and use silt for the top and clay for the bottom. And we can get a straight line. We can also select a curve by selecting a shape instead of a straight line. We can also use a pencil tool to manually draw the grain size curve. When we go to the next tab, we can also change the shape of the curve. We now go to the next log, the sedimentary structure log. We will skip this for now and go to the next log, which is the clay content. For the clay content, we can select a class and we can select abundant, or we can click on the value box and insert the value manually. We go to the next log and we can add a description by typing it in. We move to the lithology qualifier and the associated dictionary opens up. We select pyrite and we have several options to add the qualifier. We can do a single left click and add symbol at a single depth. We can also do double click and add the symbol to the entire interval. Or we can press down on the left mouse key and draw an interval over the area where we want to insert the qualifier. To delete the qualifier symbol, press down the Control key and click on the symbol to delete it. The CoreCAD workspace has the option to copy all the data of an interval and paste into another one with the same composition. Simply use Copy All Data and press Paste Data in the new interval. Now we want to move to the interbedded area and describe this lithology. Same practice, we drag the interval and start by entering the lithology. We can start with entering sand. Now we want to add interbedding, so we move to the next option. We can select the second lithology first, which is clay in this case. We can add a percentage, let's say 20%. And then we can either add the thickness for the interbeds or the number of interbeds, and WellCAD will calculate the top and bottom of each lithology bed. We move to the next log, which is the grain size, and we select fine at the top and very fine at the bottom. We move to the last tab to add interbedding. For the class, we select clay, and we use another similar feature, 20% and 8 beds. We move to the next log. For the sedimentary structures, we select non-parallel lamination. For the clay content, we select moderate, and we can add a description as well. At the end, we enter a lithology qualifier, and if we want, we can add a few sand qualifiers. We need to realize that while we enter the interpretation in the workspace, this interpretation is automatically added to the main borehole document, so we don't have to do any exports. Thank you for watching this video, and see you at the next one.